Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Rarole, and we are here for the Rarole and Davy J podcast. I am super excited because this is our very first episode. I am here with my fabulous fellow host, Davy J.
Hey, yo, Mama, that was a great intro.
Thank you. I
think
tried.
I'll let you do the intro.
I really tried.
What's up, everybody? It's Davy J, and we have a very special guest today. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. My name is Angelica, and I'm excited to be here today.
Good,
We are so excited to have you.
Thank you.
Davy, I know you wanted to ask a few questions.
Yeah, so I mean, if you just want to tell us about yourself, what you do, what area you from, fun fact about you.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm from a small town in North Carolina called Red Springs, North Carolina. I moved to the DMV area back in 2020.
Nice.
I work for a nonprofit organization that raises scholarships for HBCU students, Thurgood Marshall College
Wow.
Fund.
Dope,
Been doing
dope.
that for a little over a year, so it's exciting to give back and just kind of see the students and be able to interact with them and kind of each one teach one.
Right.
Fun fact about me. I get hiccups when I eat cold French fries.
Really?
Yo, why you eating cold?
So how did you discover that?
Because
And
I
what
eat them real
age?
fast.
Okay.
And so I actually tried out for the Panthers cheerleading squad. They told us to have a fun fact, and I was so nervous. I didn't know what fun fact to say.
Yeah.
And I had French fries that day from Bojangles. And I had ate some French fries, and I got hiccups. I'm like, every time I eat French fries when they not hot, I get hiccups. So I was like, that's just going to be my fun fact every time because people are going to remember that.
Funny.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
What?
That's a
It's
good
so
fun
random.
fact. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, definitely have never heard that one before. But that was good.
So we're definitely gonna do highs and lows of the day. That's how we
Yes.
starting off everything. It's kind of therapeutic just to let it out sometimes.
Yeah.
So, Raro, you want to start with your high and low for the day?
Highs and lows of the day. So today was actually a pretty good day for me. I would say the highs of today, we did Secret Santa at the agency I work for. So
Okay.
one of the girls got me lashes, which is really exciting. And then the girl who I was the Secret Santa for, I got her these books. And so she was guessing everyone but me. And I don't know if y'all seen the meme before where it's the proud mom, but that was definitely
Yes.
me. So that was very exciting for me. I think the lows probably today would be driving in the rain. I hate driving in the rain. So that was a lot. And I get a lot of anxiety on wet bridges. So
Yeah.
I'm literally like, Lord, just get me over it. Just get me over it. So that was my low of today.
Okay. Should I go?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, high for me today. I talked to my mom on the phone, and she has a new boyfriend.
Ooh.
Whoa.
And
Oh my
it
God.
wasn't the boyfriend part that was the high, but just to hear her excited
Happy.
about,
Yeah.
it's just yeah, he's picking me up and taking me shopping,
Oh,
and he giving me
that's
a little budget, and just a little. I said,
Period.
Okay, budget.
Period.
Okay.
All right, she's like, yeah, I might stop by Coach. I was like, okay.
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 We
So
can
that was a high
fancy.
because she's been single for a while, so I guess
Oh,
it's
yeah.
cool to have somebody taking care of her. That was cool.
Yeah, I love that.
A low was my energy today was low, man.
Okay.
I wanted to sleep all day,
Mhm.
and I hate when that happens because it just slows down productivity,
Right.
and I just had more energy today, so that was definitely a low.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll say my high for today. I went by a jewelry store and picked up some jewelry for myself.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Christmas shopping.
My own Christmas shopping.
Crazy.
I know. I
Crazy.
should be doing it for other people, but I was excited, so I was
Yeah.
able to pick up my Christmas gift to myself.
Mhm.
I think the low was the rain. and
Yeah.
I don't like cold rain
Yeah.
at
All the
all.
correlation just comes from the
Right.
rain.
It's
You know?
It's
Yeah, I
the
think
energy.
so.
It's
the
the
energy.
energy.
I don't
Yeah.
know why
Yeah.
that is,
Mhm.
but
It's very true.
it just is. Well, that's cool. So our topic for today is,
What's our topic, Davey? What's our topic?
and I just feel so bad. So shout out to DJ Flo, but he was supposed to be here, so he left me hanging. I'm putting him out. Flo was definitely supposed to be here. He did a no call, no show, so I'm the only man on this topic, and we can't miss the topic. We're gonna do it anyway. So the topic is: should broke men date?
Yes. Let's get
Should
into it.
broke men date? So it all stemmed from the article
Yes.
or Instagram post that
Based off
joined
an article.
based off an article
Mm-hmm.
that Join the Movement had posted, and this
Shout out to Join the Movement.
shout out to Join the Movement. That's the studio we're in right now. So they had a post said when I read the caption, I was like, when I read the title, I was like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
So it's many men have to decide whether to date or pay their rent.
Mm-hmm.
So they broke it down because I remember I told you earlier, like what. So let's do the numbers of a single man living in DC that makes $90,000 a year, right? After taxes, they did everything with the deductions, and it came out to a net monthly income of about $5,000 a month, right?
Okay.
Then they took down all the expenses, which some of them were kind of like, eh. They had the average one bedroom in DC is about $2,300.
Okay. Yeah.
That's fair. Average car note was $667. That was fair. Average car insurance. They put the cell phone bill in there for $114. That's kind of low for a cell phone bill, but hey, we'll do it. Cable bill, average student loan, average food cost for a single person. Put all that together, and they came out that you had, after all that, $218 left. So the
like for a month.
For a month.
For disposable income.
$218. So should men that have that kind of, because $90K is not that bad. It's not bad. Whoa, let me start that. $90K is not bad.
Yeah,
in DC is lower because of the expenses and what you're paying for. But $90K, I feel like you should be able to date. You should be able to go out and do what you do.
And I'm very passionate about this topic.
Yeah, go for it. Get into it.
You know, I think I said it before, but a lot of it has to do with money management. There's no reason that you need to live in D.C., even if you work in D.C. There's plenty of people that commute. There's public transportation that you can use as well. So you could live on the outskirts. You could live 30 minutes away, maybe 45 minutes away, and commute. And you could perhaps find somewhere that's $1,500 a month. So already we're knocking off.
We're saving $600.
Yeah, like more, like even more. So with that, you could have that. Also, what type of car are you driving? Because, for example, we're talking about a car note. Depending on what car you're driving, you could drive a nice little Honda Accord. You don't drive.
But do y'all care about that? See,
no.
All of this comes. So women don't care about the car that a man is
You
driving.
have a car and you can drive it.
Yeah.
And you can,
so y'all don't care.
No.
I feel like long as it's not a city limit car.
Yeah. We with a city limit car.
A car you can only drive within the city limits. Like you can't drive long distances because it may break down. Like long as you have a decent car that can get you from point A to point B.
Yeah, that's so
then
funny.
I feel like, hey, like that's fine.
Yeah.
So if women don't care, then I get. But I feel like men like to wow women with certain things,
and that's
right?
the problem.
Yeah.
Because you're living outside of your means to be like the Joneses, and instead of you to actually live within your means.
I guess like women like men with money, so it's a turn on if you can show that kind of thing. But
women like men that provide,
Correct.
or at least show that they would provide if they are granted to in an opportunity. So even if, for example, and I'm gonna let you go because even if, for example, you're living within your means. You know what? I'm gonna let you go because I feel like I'm already segueing.
Go ahead.
Okay. So you're living within your means, right? If you were living within your means, that means in all aspects of life. When it comes to your car, your house, the woman you go after. So if you were dating a woman who is on the same level as you, which I think even for women, you should date men that are on the same level as you as well, like, or at least the same mindset, then you're not going to have those type of issues and those type of conversations. But you have the dude that sleeps on an air mattress that is trying to go after a woman who has her own apartment, pays all of her own bills, provides for herself in every aspect, and you're saying, oh, I only have $200 at the end of the month. How am I going to do that? You can't. Because you can't measure where you don't compete. And it's not a competition when you're being with someone, but it's like, what did my father say? He says, cut your coat according to your cloth. So if you don't got enough cloth, like, don't try and get that nice big coat. Right?
So like, because a man does not have enough income, he doesn't deserve romance.
We're not saying that. There's different ways that you can romance a woman without always having to go out and spend $200 on a meal. And I think that's where men need to come into like understanding that it doesn't take all of that all the time. Like,
but a lot of times you're gonna end up in a group chat if you don't. You're gonna end up in a group chat.
No, who says that?
It depends on what type of
you're
people
gonna end up
you're
in
going
a group
after.
chat. So like, for instance, right? Like most dates that I have been on recently in the past year or two, whatever. You're gonna end up spending just a typical date to like the Cheesecake Factory, right? You get 2 drinks each, which is normal.
Yeah.
You only get 2 drinks.
Okay.
You get 2 meals, entrees each, about $30. You probably like 110.
Okay.
And that was like 2 hours of time. So
Right.
now you have to figure out something else. That was just one date. And you got to think, men, I think one of the problems also is men are picky just like everybody else. They're dating. And to be in the field, as a man, to be in the field, you got to have money. Because you might, I know some dudes that go on like 2 dates in a week, 3 dates in a week.
With the same
And
person?
you, no.
Well, then that's their problem. That's their problem.
It's not like
you're trying
you
to
go
spread
on
yourself
all these
so
dates
thin.
and try to,
of course
try
your
to
money's
meet these
gonna
different
get spread
women.
thin.
And it happens. And then you look up and you're like, wow, like I really just spent all of this money on all these different things. But I mean, it's hard though. Like men, no matter what, on a first date, you meet a woman, you take them out. First date, usually like, if you're smart, you try to push for the happy hour. But you got to think, most women don't get off till 6.
Right.
Right? What time you get off?
5:30.
5, 6.
Yeah, I'm
6.
Yeah.
So by the time you get off, and you trying to race through traffic to get to
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock,
I'm trying to get the Groupon
the joint
deals.
is done. It's happy hour is done at that point. So now you ain't got no choice but to do 8.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, so the drinks double
But
now.
that's
Everything.
why you got to be selective with who you're choosing, so you know that this person is even worth investing into. But I think that that raises another topic. Maybe men are just spreading themselves too thin, and they're trying to grab at every single option. So why wouldn't you spread yourself thin? Your money's gonna be spread thin. Like, you're gonna be exhausted. But like, I think also, even like to that point, it's just kind of like you find someone on your level, equally yoked, because there's also different things. You can get creative. I think you were talking about getting creative. For the life of me, I asked one of my exes to take me to freaking Sky Zone. And what is that, like $12?
Yeah.
He would not take me to the
18.
Sky Zone. I couldn't go on picnics every single time. Dating's
Women
so
love
expensive.
picnics. That's
like,
the thing.
and it's like,
What if it's cold outside?
we don't
You can have a
always have
picnic
to
in the
go
house.
to
You can
some
put a
fancy
blanket.
place.
You can have
Okay.
candles. Like, you
Yeah.
have to think outside the
it
box.
takes a certain woman to like that though, because if it's your first date or even your second, they might not be cool if like
Going
let's
to your
just
house.
sit in the house.
No.
No,
Exactly.
What are we doing in the house?
Absolutely
What-
not.
Like the house is just.
Do you
it's
feel
not
like
an
the house
option.
is
Like, I mean,
appropriate dating? Do you think that's good for a first date?
It depends on the woman.
Of course not.
Uh-huh.
The house is never the first date option, but
Interesting.
I think
It was a laugh before the answer.
You know,
Yeah.
and the hands spread out. Like, okay.
whatever. But if you can avoid that, I mean, to bring somebody to your house, you don't really know them is crazy. Cause
It is wild.
people
could
be
be a serial killer.
underestimating the power of like privacy,
Yeah.
and you don't want the girl that you met at the club to off rip know where you live, and off
Sets
rip
you up,
take what
robs
you.
you.
Yeah, it gets crazy. So
Yeah.
my question to y'all, right? Since I'm the only male on the show, we're going to switch it up. So you all both have good jobs. We'll just say it like that. So is it harder for you to find men that are equally yoked because of what your jobs and what you make? If that makes sense.
You can go first.
I would say yes.
Mm.
It's hard dating in DC.
Yeah.
I thought that like being in DC, oh yeah, I'm gonna go out. It's Chocolate City, meet people my age. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Because, I do feel like guys these days, even though I'm successful, I have my own for myself. I don't have any children. Like, I don't have any baggage. Men these days feel like they're the prize.
Yeah.
And there are so many women who are wonderful women, and we don't want to compete with each other.
Yeah.
And so when we meet men, it's almost like, I'm not about to sit here and try to chase you.
Right.
And if you're not chasing me, then we're just not going to talk. And
Yeah.
I meet wonderful men, but it never get past a day or 2 weeks because
Yeah.
I don't know what they're looking for, because I'm not about to sit here and try to make it seem like I'm chasing you.
Right. I agree with that. I think it's really hard. And like a lot of times, like, I think on Twitter and the conversation, it's always like women are gold diggers, women are this. I literally have heard of so many men that are professional vagabonds, and they literally will jump from house to house to house, from girlfriend. So with each girlfriend comes a new apartment or a new house.
Yeah.
And so it's like they
Well, I
date.
looked up on
they
this one. I
they
got a good
date.
one.
They date for, what is it called? Accommodation. And so it's
Security,
like
basically, that's
literally they're dating like someone the other day told me about their friend, and they were like, "Oh, he got one. He leveled up." I said, "Oh, well, what did he
That's
do?
crazy.
Oh my gosh, good for him. Like he's doing well. Like how's his career? Like,
Nah,
and
that's
so
not what
I'm
you're talking
thinking
about.
like it's like he leveled up in his career. He's like, no, the girl he with, she make money. I said, oh, that's nice. I said, wow. So how much is he making? And he was like, no, like that was the whole plan. Like he put a baby in her. She making money. He don't pay nothing in that house. I said. And the guy who was telling me was real giddy about it. And I'm like, is this like the new thing? Like, is this, but it's like women get the bad rap. Like, oh, they're trying to trap the men. But a lot of men are trying to trapping the women.
Yes,
and trapping the women. And it's like, okay, even if we go back to should broke men date? I think no. Because I think that at that level, if you're a broke man, you're a broke woman, obviously you're trying to survive. And so maybe that's why somebody would do something as crazy as being a professional vagabond and jumping from woman to woman just to find hospitality, food, and whatever it may be. So at that time you should be focusing on yourself. How do I dig myself out of this hole? How do I actually secure my future instead of chasing tail around the whole city? Because then you get to 50 and what are you doing then? Like, are you the guy on the corner that's harassing women all the time and everyone's just like, oh, there he go again? Like, or did you actually make something out of your life? Like, so it's like, it's having like living within your means, having the right priorities in life. Like, are you even all together? Because the thing is, I don't even think you would want to be spreading yourself so thin, your body or whatever it may be, if you had your priorities right. Like, if you don't got money, like, you don't even know where your next meal's coming from.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I think what happens is, you know, at the end of the day, we all want to feel wanted. We all want to feel loved.
Jesus
so
wants
even
you.
even if you are
God loves
making
him.
less, I feel like, you know, you still should deserve love and companionship on some type of level. But to get back to what you were saying with men thinking that they're the prize, I think a lot of it just from talking to my male counterparts, they have realized that they are the minority of the group at this point. They are the less. I think the ratio is like 1 to 4 or something like that. Like
it's 9
it's
females
1 to 9.
Every one man. Yes.
Oh, really?
See, so like
wow.
at that point, what is the prize at that point then? Like, is it still, and I'm just asking,
I don't know.
is it still like what is considered the
You know,
prize?
I
Because
feel-
if it's 9 to 1,
Bruh.
and you first of all, like, just because you're a male, you gotta think like there's a lot of males in the DMV that make money, go to the gym, work out, they know they're attractive, they got charisma, they got swag. It's like kind of like, why not try to go for either the cream of the crop? And if I already had the cream of the crop, I want the next cream of the crop because there's so many options. So at that point, like, what is the prize?
Well,
Like,
let's stick to the broke people. Like, because we can talk about the men.
let's
that
throw this
have
whole
a
podcast
great-
away. Let's
We can
throw
talk
the
about
whole
the career,
podcast.
but
Yeah.
speaking of broke people, I feel like that goes back. That goes back to saying like you have to be with somebody equally yoked. Because
Yeah.
guys these days, they're not. When it comes to the female that they're trying to date,
Who is the prize? Who is the prize?
When it comes to females they're trying to date, they're quick to call women gold diggers. When
Yeah.
we as successful women, we provide for ourselves.
Yeah.
I buy myself flowers every other week.
Right.
I get my nails done. I pay for my own stuff.
Everything.
So if I'm gonna meet a man, then it's like, what can you bring to the table that I
Yeah.
can already bring to the table myself?
Yeah.
And sometimes the man isn't broke. He just don't want to. He don't want to live up to.
Stingy.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a
stingy.
provider.
There are a lot
Like,
of successful men who
are
don't
very
want to do
stingy.
nothing for the woman.
And it's like, I think it's more so even like a mindset too. Like, it's like not even necessarily like, oh, spend all your money. Like, obviously, if you guys are equally yoked, you're not going to have your man spending like indiscriminately or whatever, like, and just doing nonsense with his finances. But like, it's like, there's stingy people out there. Like, they're so stingy. They don't have that provider mindset. Like, if you can't provide for the person that you're with, how are you going to provide for the family?
So here's the thing.
Like,
It's
how
a
are you going to
provider.
lead
It's
the
like,
home?
as men, I feel like for men, you can't give that too much provider too soon.
But
can't
women
spend
do.
too soon.
Women
You
do.
can't-
There's so many women
But I'm
that are
saying,
always like,
like-
oh, let me get. I was at the store. I was thinking of you.
Yep.
Let me get this.
Every
And
time.
it's like that is my mindset.
I
So
get
it's
it.
like
I get
I
it.
will literally be at the store and I'll be like, you know what? I don't think I liked your boxers like that. I got these boxers for
But
you.
that's
or
but
like
that's what somebody you are actually with. Like,
no.
But
you
you
know,
have to
I
do
do
it from
that
the
with-
beginning.
I do that even with just my friends.
But I don't think like guys. I think guys, unless they are extremely, so it all comes down to like I think a lot of women underestimate how much they like to chase too. Like women like to chase as well, and I think the problem is they do. The problem is when men give too
Coming
soon,
from-
too early, the chase and the butterflies and all that stuff like gets done so quick without you even really knowing the guy, and he's giving so much, and now you're over him already. He done spent bag, he done been the provider, he's done all that, and now
but
you're over
providing
it.
in what sense? We're not talking
Providing,
about
okay,
popping
splurging,
bottles at the club.
showing some type of financial
Guys
whatever.
don't do that in
Like,
the beginning.
yeah.
Guys don't
Okay.
do that in the beginning.
maybe,
They always say
okay,
that's
maybe I
relationship
done
stuff.
heard some other stuff.
And it's
so.
also maybe those are like club lifestyle people. Because the thing is, like, there's a difference between providing and there's a difference between just showing off. Like, okay, for example, some guy,
So you want a man that you just met within 2 weeks to provide for you?
not
to show-
provide.
But I'm saying
but
in
just
the
show that they
first-
have a giving heart. Like, obviously later, like,
The energy you start off
mean,
with
you
is
can,
the energy
you
you're gonna
can
keep.
even tell, like,
That's
by the
not
person,
true.
how was your day? Like, what were you doing? Oh, have you eaten? Like, or something like that. He might not even buy your meal yet, but he's worried about, like, your well-being.
Yeah.
So someone who is worried about your well-being, genuinely, you know that person probably will, like, want to provide
That's
for
game.
you. Like,
That's
it's
what you
not
call
game.
game.
That is not game.
Dudes be on game with it. Y'all just don't understand. And that dudes be on game with it.
So they be saying that
and they'll
to
be
multiple
saying, "Baby,
females.
did you eat today?" Yes. Good morning, beautiful. Baby, did you eat today? That's basic.
It's that ratio.
Guys do that. Like guys do that all the time.
done.
And I'm over there laughing because he knows it's true.
Oh
you
my
like you ain't got no other guy.
Is
to-
it true?
to- Don't.
So
and
you
don't
want
put
to
it
tell
on
us,
this.
we as women out here think that we're getting special treatment when guys are saying that to
Guys-
multiple people?
I ain't no snitch because I don't want to be that. Sorry, guys. But
Wow.
that ain't no, like, did you eat today? All that kind of stuff is like stuff that you learn
It
early,
could be
man.
game, but I'm
And it's
also,
game. And it's like, if a man, like, my whole point is like, if a man is doing too much too soon, like giving, bags or, sending you
But that's why I
all
said
this
that
money
club
for food,
lifestyle.
or it's not even like a club
That
lifestyle.
is a club lifestyle.
Like, I
that's
think men in general just do that sometimes. Like,
but
and
also,
it's too early, and then they end up like really wanting the girl or thinking I spent all this money on you, so now
well,
like
that-
you deserve.
I think we're even going into another topic because even with that, that's because those men, the only way they feel validated or the only, what's the word? Way they feel any type of worth is by spending their money. So that's why they pop 40 bottles in the club. That's why they're like, oh, I'm going to pay for this. I'm going to pay for that. Right
Showing
away.
off.
Like, yeah, showing off. And that's what I was trying to say earlier. Like, there's people that have helped me and provided for me, like, back in the past out of, like, not because I needed it, but genuinely because they were just like, hey, like, I really like you. Like, let me take this off your plate. But then there's other people that are like, oh, you going to the club without me? Let me hands me a stack for so you can get a drink. You know damn well that I don't need a stack to buy a drink, but you're showing off. And I'm going to let you show off because I'm going to take that money back and pay my rent. But, like,
See what I'm
it's
saying? Like he got
but
taken advantage of. He got skipped over.
He
but
didn't,
But
because
if
he
you really knew him
literally-
and you liked him like that, it would be a different kind of
But
give.
the thing is,
But you didn't know him.
like
That-
you said,
my point, right?
like you said, no.
No,
Like you
no,
said, he was running
no.
game. So I played the game because I'm sure he was giving stacks to everybody, and that's because his money was probably very fast, and so it
Yeah,
didn't
that sound like
matter.
some fast
Yeah,
money.
so it didn't
Definitely sound
matter.
like
So
some
he
fast
was
money.
running game on everybody. So okay, like I'm not gonna mess up your show, like, but. Now I know, obviously, you're also not a man that I would want to be with. Like, girls do see some types of games, too.
Yeah.
And it's like, because no dude is going to, like, a real dude's not going to, like, no, I wouldn't say a real dude. They're not going to just offer you stacks off brick. Because if they're offering that quick, like, your money must come really fast that, like, I'm not getting pulled up in the paddy wagon with you. Like,
Yeah, no,
so
I
you
get it.
know
I get
game,
it.
like, when you see it. But it's
So-
like, I don't know.
Nah, I get it. I get
But
it.
I think we're also talking about people with money again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
and I was
like
about to switch it back to like the difficulty it is
Yeah.
for women to find a man that
Yeah.
makes that kind of money that you make and is willing to settle down and commit, because that's the big thing, right? Like just as you said before, after a certain amount of weeks, certain amount of time, months, whatever, it's like, all right, now what are we doing?
Yeah.
And the commitment isn't there. So like, why do you think that is? Like with that kind of struggle with that.
I know I can go off of you. You said everybody needs love, right? And like broke men need love. I've tried the I'm gonna be with you during your struggle stage. It didn't work out for me as a successful woman. Like it was a long distance situation. I found myself constantly every other week, maybe once a month. I will be the one to fly to him. I'll pay for my own flights. Oh, it's okay. I know you don't have no. I just want to be with you. I pay for my own the hotel. I pay for the entire hotel.
Oh, you're short on the bill. It's fine. I'll cover it for you.
He hungry at work. I'll
Uber eat some money.
Maybe I need to start
we get burned out. We get burned out. So I thought that I'm gonna be with you while you're struggling because I know we're gonna make it to the top together. Absolutely not.
And so when he get old, he gonna do what?
He gonna
do what?
I'm dead.
But it's like, yes, everybody need love, but what are you doing when if I'm traveling to come see you, or if I'm putting in all this effort as a woman to say, you know what, you're not where you need to be. It's okay, but I like you, and I'm going to try to stick by you. You got to bring that energy. You got to bring something. Yeah. Because if you can't bring money, what else are you bringing? Because eventually we as women, successful women, we're going to get burnt out.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. But I do feel like because of that aspect, right? Like I feel like maybe sometimes you would have to sacrifice. Like, what do you? It's kind of like, I don't want to, be Kevin Samuels right now because I'm not at all. But I remember he had this one episode where he was like, would you rather settle or die alone? And the amount of women that said I'd rather die alone was scary.
I don't think
it was crazy. They said I'd rather die alone before I settle and be with a man that does not check all my boxes.
No, it's not checking all the boxes.
Checking boxes.
It's
okay.
equally yoked. Again,
yes, it does.
Yoked with that person. You have to meet me on my level at least.
So like financially, they have to meet you at your level.
At least.
The thing is, okay, so let's even talk about. I don't want to get too personal with my situation, but let's talk about an ex before an ex.
Don't get.
So, no.
Let's not talk about exes.
Okay, well, someone I knew back in my past life. So, so I'm not talking about my direct ex. So I'm talking about someone in the past life, and it's like I was that ride or die person for that person, and I rode until I literally almost died. Like that shit is mentally exhausting. Like
that part.
And it's like it's not even. For example, okay, we're not financially at the same level, but like, can you even communicate? We're talking about checking boxes. It's a basic bare minimum to the floor, bars on the floor box. Like you're not even communicating properly. I got to chase you down to get on the phone. You're still entertaining 20,000 different women. And it's like.
So why are you holding them down?
What you mean?
Because we as women.
Well, you said.
Why y'all hold them down? We still chasing 20,000 other women.
You asked the question.
We see the man of where he's going to be.
Yeah.
We see where he's going to be
and
in
the
life.
thing is, that's the problem. Like, just even to that point, a lot of women date for potential for so long until finally they wake up and they're like, you know what? I'm going to date you for who you are, exactly who you are now. And that's why they would wake up and say, I would rather die than settle.
Yes.
Because it would be better to be alone than for you to exhaust yourself mentally, spiritually, physically. Like, potentially, if we even go to physically, potentially put yourself at a risk of a disease, financially, all of those things. Is it that much to have companionship, or is it better to be alone? And hopefully maybe you do eventually meet that person who does meet you at those different levels, and it doesn't even only have to be financially. If y'all are making six figures and maybe that person's making 600,000, you're making, and you're making like $1 million and stuff, at that point, what's the difference? Like, but it's,
I mean, of course, at that point, that's
it's
very,
like,
you're already in the 1% at that point.
Okay, yeah. So, like, but that's a goal. But, like...
you trying to speak things. If my name makes $1 million and I only make 600, then it's cool.
What's the difference?
What's the difference? Like, at that
but,
point.
like, you know, like, it's just... I would rather be alone than to go through all of those things again.
But I feel like that's sacrifice. I mean, not all just sacrifice, but I feel like every relationship has to have some type of sacrifice to it and some type of compromise.
A season
so it's like,
of sacrifice.
where are you gonna?
But is it perpetually?
But that's a character thing, because as an entrepreneur, we all know, like, at some point you could lose everything just like that, just like a job. Like you could lose everything just like that. So it's like you're gonna have to compromise at some point. Not every man is gonna be just
But
like
I
every
think,
woman is not
I
gonna be at a
think
certain
sometimes
point.
the conversation, you're saying at some point, which makes a complete sense, but I think a lot of people go into the conversation saying they should just sacrifice off jump. Like, I just met you. I don't know you from a can of paint. And so you can't do, like, you don't even got a pot to piss in. And
But I
I'm
feel like
supposed
women,
to do
I
what?
get it. But
with
I feel like women, like at times they will see the potential in a man that already has his money,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and they'll be like, you know what? At the end of the day, at least he has his money, and they won't like check for the character that the guy that has the potential has. They won't check for, you know, all of those other things that that man could provide. That's not financial, and then you got the man that is financial, and he could lose it. He could, you know, do different things. And they was like, you just stuck with this guy with character, with you know, no character, no.
Well, I don't think either of us said that you should base your relationship solely on finances.
But I feel like that's a very big deal. Like the number one thing that I remember, I saw it on a survey or something on Instagram. It was like the number one thing that women look for is a provider. That's like the number one thing.
Well,
like,
that's Bible.
But
That's in
yeah,
the Bible.
and a provider is also mindset too.
it is
Like,
mindset as well.
So
but
it's not only
you can't have.
financially.
So if I got no money but the mindset of a provider, you gonna be cool with that? Fuck out of here,
You're
boy.
What you gonna
So
do? Take
it's
my
like-
money and tell me what to do with it?
Exactly.
What?
So I'm saying
No.
that's
But
the
But I
point.
think
So for
providing also goes hand in hand with leading.
Mhm.
So you can lead a household
with no money.
Yes, you can.
Okay, I'm
Like,
just asking.
because there's times people do ride or die. Like, even for example, like my dad. When we were growing up, my dad, it's a family of 6. We lived in a 3-bedroom apartment. My dad maybe made like $30,000-$40,000 or something like that. Before then, he made less. Now, I won't go into my dad's finances, but like he's well beyond 6 figures. And so it's just like my mom did ride or die. However, my dad, despite only making $30,000 providing for his 6 people, there was always food on the table. My dad was a chemist with a PhD. In the night, he wrote cabs. Like, he figured out a way to provide for the family, even if it meant he wasn't eating. And that's a sacrifice I wish he didn't have to make. And, like, of course, he would still eat. So we're not going to say he just starved. But, like, it's just, like, he knew what to do. He knew, like, okay, we got to go to church. Okay, you know what? We don't live in a good neighborhood, so I'm going to send my kids to a private school. Do my kids have clothes on their back? Like, he was a provider. He was a leader. And he might not have provided us with Gucci. We didn't have iPads or any of that type of stuff, but the mindset was there. So with that mindset, because he knew where he was going, and my mom also noticed that, of course she would supplement where she could to help support my dad at that point, but he got to where he was going because of the mindset. And that's why it's coupled with multiple things. Like,
yeah, so
you
those
know what I
broke
mean?
men can have the mindset. Right? Am I lying?
Do they have the drive though? 'Cause the thing
Right.
is, the thing
You
is,
can't have the mind. Like you gotta have the drive too. You have to be ambitious.
Few in between, and the men the men of nowadays are not built like the men back then. Like,
No, absolutely
some
not.
people joke around and like, oh, our mothers and stuff tolerated a lot more. The men were more quality than they are now. The men nowadays are just like,
You
I
can,
don't- I don't.
you can tell a man, you say, you ain't, I like flowers. I like flowers too. Like,
Right.
what?
Like,
It's
huh?
like, you tell a man back in the 90s, I like flowers. He's coming to your house asking your father, can he give them to you? Like,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
very different. That is very different. I was gonna ask you guys. I had a question in my head and it went out, but it has something to do with. I forgot, man. And it's kind of blowing me because it was like right here. It was right here. But nah, I think this was good. I felt like because I can't. It's not hitting me. So the moral, I guess, of the story is that broke men should not date. They, even if they have potential, right?
And if they do date, they should date someone who's on their level.
Yes.
And like,
Oh, this was I about to ask.
Okay.
Oh, it just
there it go.
came. Okay, so talking about like first dates and like, you know, spending money and like, you know, broke men taking somebody out, etc. Right? These creative dates that y'all, you know, quote, love and compassionate about, like
why was it in
that y'all
quotes?
love these creative,
Quote.
Why
you
was it
know,
in quotes?
low
Like we lying.
budget dates. Have y'all ever been on one of these low budget
No, because
No.
they
dates
won't
recently
do it.
No.
before?
No.
I've asked for it,
Yeah.
and
I've
they
asked for it
won't do
also.
it.
They don't do it.
Like,
I'm not going to tell you how to
But
love
would
me.
you? But would you like really appreciate?
yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
I literally want to go to Sky Zone. There's actually this place in Laurel that has all these cool things, and you're like
I know what
swinging,
you're talking
like,
about,
and
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I have begged to go to this place. But the excuse, I don't have money. And I'm like, but I'm asking you to take me somewhere that costs like $20, if that.
Yeah.
Like,
it's the small things that we
But
love.
like, I feel like if a guy was like, yeah, I don't really have the money to like do nothing crazy, so maybe we can do this, or I feel like that would.
But the thing is, just plan it. Just do it. I feel like guys look at us to say, well, what do you want to do? When they don't really have when they don't have it, or if they don't know what to do, what do you have? What do you have in mind? Why should I tell you how to date me?
The worst is when they don't have it or they don't have the money, but somehow some type of money is conjured up to get contraband. And so I'm like, how do you, well, hold on. If I calculate like how much it costs for you to smoke every day, then
whoa,
why
you hitting some boxes on that?
I don't know. I'm just wondering.
By calculating.
I mean, or other things. Going out with the boys. Like, you go out with the boys.
I see some bottles at your section in your store.
You're not feeling good tonight, but you going out
How much that
Because I pulled out the calculator.
I'm confused.
And like,
whatever bottle is calculated, especially depending on the club
that's $360.
The bottle's online. The bottle service price is online.
But you don't got money. Like, you don't got money, or you just don't feel as if it's worth
the effort.
Yeah, the effort.
I mean, the thing is like, also, you got to remember, not all guys are good planners. Just because you're a guy, I feel like you almost have to be a planner, somebody that knows how to plan a great date. It's just part of it. Like,
so what do you think a man should bring to the table?
I honestly wish that, like, one day I would, and this is probably what
Davey, what do you think that a man should bring to the table?
A lot.
Like what?
He should bring everything.
Okay, but when you talk about a guy isn't romantic.
But I just wish that one day that I would meet a woman out, get her number, we ask to hang out, whatever, and she plans the first date. I think that would be very, like, wow. Like, that would really wow me. I'm not going to lie. Like, I feel like that would really wow me.
But yeah, girls do that when you're dating someone.
If they plan it. No, I'm just talking about, because guys, it's just like that pressure of like, all right, where are we gonna go? And then not switch. I mean, we can get in roles and genders and all that.
The first date.
I'm just saying it would wow me. It would take me back, like, oh wow, like, guys, it's actually dope. Like, I personally would.
That sound good until the man is intimidated. Because I've done it before. I've done it. I've done it before. I told a guy, like, let's meet here. I paid for the meal. First date. Intimidation. Guys are intimidated by stuff like that. Oh no, he liked it, but I was too strong of a woman.
I probably wouldn't have let you pay for it.
A lot of the men.
It would have been like, all right, thank you, but at the end of the day, after you planned it, did all that stuff, I probably would have paid for it just off it. But I get what you're saying though. But I'm just saying, I just wish, that would be a thing every now and then. It's like, why not?
Because I think when you actually have like a serious woman that you're like with, then of course all the time they're planning
they're gonna
stuff.
take you out and do all that stuff. But it's like that first one, because a man is a man. You gotta plan. You gotta plan that first one. But it's cool. I mean, I'm just saying that one day, I had a dream.
All right, so basically Davey is saying, for whoever is out there who is interested in him, take him out for the first time, pay for the date. That is the type of woman. Open the door for him. Pull out his chair. Like, make sure he's real comfortable. You feel me?
Pick the restaurant.
Y'all done? Y'all done? All right, cool.
Oh my God.
Thank you so much for stopping. Right, we about to wrap this up.
I'm done.
Thank you all so much.
She should bring the flowers too.
In.
Oh yes, most definitely.
I think definitely. What type of flowers do you like?
Guys, I like flowers
I'm not gonna
too.
lie.
Yeah,
I do like flowers. Like, it's not like I like the fresh smell.
I do. Yeah,
I like the look. It's refreshing.
There's nothing
like,
wrong with
How would you feel if a woman brought you flowers though?
Well, like, y'all brought me flowers before. Like, just off the rips, like, I realized you have fresh flowers in your house.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay.
I just wanted to, replace the flowers sometimes. Like,
okay.
My household had flowers in it a lot. It's just something I like, Nothing wrong with it, man.
There's nothing wrong with flowers.
Nothing wrong with it. And if a woman brings you flowers, she brings you flowers.
I was just wondering how far you wanted to go with the whole first date thing.
I know what you were trying to do. I see what was happening. Yeah. I'm shutting it down. Shutting it down. Immediately.
I'm done.
But thank you all so much for tuning in to the Ravo Lay and Davey J podcast. It was our first episode.
Woo!
First one is out the way.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot more coming, a lot more different topics, a lot more different just everything. So make sure y'all follow us on Instagram. We'll put it on the little side thing or the bottom thing or whatever thing.
At the bottom of the screen.
Bottom of the screen, you can see. I've always wanted to do that, right?
Follow me down below in the
Down
box.
below in the box.
Yes.
Subscribe.
Yeah. And
All
then
right,
it's
y'all. We
Yeah,
done.
we're-
Peace.
Bye, y'all. What were we at time?